What's going on, y'all? Welcome back, man. Got a jam-packed episode for y'all. Today we talking Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech. Yes, sir. We getting into the Georgia Tech showtimes. All right. That dropped today. So we gotta get into the latest times they're gonna be playing this year. The whole September has been revealed. And I'm super excited. And I think it says a lot about Georgia Tech and the direction that they're headed as a program, man. So we're gonna break it all down and talk about the latest. And remember, they're gonna start off the season September 3rd against Colorado. Thursday night football started off on ESPN, 8 p.m. I think kickoff as well, man. But this schedule, is very interesting to do September. So let's break it all down and let's talk about it. All right, here we go. Here it is. All right. All right, so game times have been announced for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. All right, so they're going to play September 13th after Colorado against Tennessee. All right, so they get about a week rest and 2 extra days in there from the Thursday night. They're going to host Tennessee. Right, we know it's a home and home series. Super excited. Love when Georgia Tech plays Tennessee. Love when these guys ACC plays obviously SEC. It makes for good football. But what stands out to me is the 7 p.m. kickoff. Right. And I think that's super cool because, that basically tells us, right? Like they see it as a primetime game, right? It's on ESPN. They didn't get the ABC window, but remember, the next best game for the most part is on ESPN, you know what I'm saying, when them teams play. So I think that's massive for Georgia Tech. Primetime game, ESPN in the building. You get another opportunity and chance to continue to prove yourself and show what you can obviously do. So I think that's big. And you go look at 3 of their first 4 matchups. We'll talk about the rest of them are on ESPN. That tells me obviously a lot. Usually it's on ACC Network, which is owned by ESPN. But think about it, right? You could be on ACC Network and play a lot of your games. Still an ESPN affiliate and plays on ESPN, but being in that network market window when ESPN is on air, that says a lot. Says a lot. That tells me people want to see Georgia Tech play, right? And to talk a little bit about the Tennessee game, it's exciting because you got two teams looking to really build, right? Tennessee last year was solid, didn't probably achieve what they wanted to achieve. Same with Georgia Tech. New looking quarterback that obviously with the helm. A lot of people are saying it's going to be Faison Brandon. Obviously, it'll be Alberto Mendoza for Georgia Tech. New weapons in there. We know about Jordan Allen for Georgia Tech, but they're going to also have new pieces at the helm. Javin Plummer, Isaiah Furman, Dalen Pinson. I'm saying Justice Haynes in the backfield with a Malachi Hosley. It's a new look team for Georgia Tech after years with Haynes King at the helm being your star, right? With Tennessee, you got probably one of the best receiving corps in the nation that nobody's talking about. Braylon Staley, obviously Travis Smith Jr., Tristan Keys, and you throw in there Mike Matthews. It's a very deeply talented, obviously, wide receiver room. And the running backs are also really good. Deshaun Bishop, right? You also throw in there what Javin Gordon did in the spring, and you have a good team. The key here, though, we're not going to break down the whole matchup, but we'll give a little precursor, is how good would Tennessee defense be, right? Can they, with the new defensive coordinator, slow down and stop this Georgia Tech offense, right? That's going to be crucial, obviously, in this game. Again, I'm not going to break it down every single matchup, but can the Tennessee defense stifle Georgia Tech? That's going to be one of the main parameters to look at this game. But I love it. It tells me a lot about Georgia Tech. It tells me a lot about Tennessee that they want to put them in that primetime window Saturday night on ESPN. Doesn't get much bigger than that. It'll be a late game, obviously, of course, but you can't obviously beat that. And then they play, obviously, Mercer at noon. That was not too much of a surprise. Braylon Manley go up against his former team, so that'll be obviously pretty cool to see that a little bit. But that's just kind of a get right game. You got 2 hard ones to kind of start. Colorado, and obviously you got Tennessee, which is the SEC opponent, and then you go in there, you get an FCS team. You know what I'm saying? Obviously Division One, of course, but then you get a team kind of like that button-up game. Last year I think it was VMI. You just try to get yourself together, get yourself right. Buckle your trend strap, nothing too crazy. That makes a lot of sense for that game to be noon. Go ahead and get that out of the war in the way. See where you at during the season, and then obviously go home, do your thing, get home about 4-ish, 5-ish, and then obviously you're going to start up and watch the rest of the games for the rest of the night. So like that, love that. I think it'll be a lot of fun, excuse me, to watch at home. And then last but not least, you got the big one. Now, this one tells me a lot too, because sometimes you'll see the West Coast games, right? Yes, they can be obviously 7:30, which is this kickoff on the West Coast, But sometimes those games are also played at 4:30 on the West Coast, which would be or 4 o'clock on the West Coast, which would obviously be no, I was right, 4:30, which would be basically 3:30 on our side, right? Now, obviously, there's a 3 hour difference. You know what I'm saying? When I say 7:30, I'm saying 4:30. I mean 7:30 on our end, right? It'll be 4:30 on their end, right? That's basically what I was trying to say. So being in that late primetime window, yes, it's a sleeper, but again, that's also another mark of, hey, we want to see Georgia Tech play. Hey, it's West Coast team. We want to see them match up, right? And that won't be the easiest game in the world because going all the way to California, excuse me, you know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you prepare it. Yes, Stanford is going to have probably one of the worst rosters along with Boston College in the ACC this next season. But at the same time, you know that Stanford, whoever goes there, makes it tough. Remember a few years ago when Miami went to Stanford and it was a tough game. You know what I'm saying? Or no, Miami played California. That was a tough game, right? So I expect Stanford to still be competitive. I don't expect them to win a lot of games this year, but they got a new coach, Tavita Pritchard. Andrew Luck's the GM. They're making changes, new quarterback at the helm. It's going to be a different looking roster for the Stanford Cardinals, in my humble opinion. So getting those and think about it for Georgia Tech. We talked about 3 or 4 games on ESPN. 3 of your first 4 games is in prime time. Hello, 3 or 4 of your games are in prime time. It just goes to show you the TV market value you bring to the table. Shows you the viewership, and people want to see this program. People love head coach Brent Key when it's all said and done. They want to see him up close and personal. They want to see this team play, and everybody's inspired about what they can do. And like I said, I hope Georgia Tech does have that caliber of a season where they're competitive, they're in the spotlight, they do their thing, where they can continue to build off what they have, right? Obviously, Coach Key signed that 5-year extension, and we're seeing the remnants of what he's been able to do. 7-6, 7-6, 9-4. Now, can you take the next step forward and make a CFP playoff? I think Georgia Tech, if you get 10 wins, you're in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? They can't take you out of conversation. The key this year, though, you need the ACC to be better, right? You don't need all the chaos, 5 2-loss teams. You need more of the teams to kind of differentiate a little bit, right? You want the conference to be good, but at the same time, you need some of the powers to be relevant. The Miamis, the Florida States, the Clemsons, right? You can have your little, couple teams thrown in there that shock some people like Cal. Virginia Tech's another one. And when Virginia Tech is good, the ACC is usually good. You need those teams to get back up to the top. And that's going to help you out a lot if you're Georgia Tech, man. But that's my thoughts, man. I think it's great. 3 of your first 4 games in primetime, 3 of your first 4 games on ESPN. That just tells me what Georgia Tech is doing and how many people want to see them up live in person and the market value and viewership that they are bringing to the table, which I think is remarkable. So that's my honest thoughts and assessment, man. I'm excited to see what they do this upcoming season, and the Tennessee game will be must-see TV. We're going to have live instant reaction. That's going to be so much fun. Can't wait for the season. We're going to have live reactions, you know what I'm saying, posted videos, all that good stuff all season long, man. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with me, okay? Because I'm going to be covering the entire college football landscape as I continue to try to grow this channel in this platform. I'm super excited. You guys make sure you like, comment, subscribe, have the video, and I will see you in the next one. And join me in just a bit for my college football show as I edit this, get this out, and get ready for that. See you guys in a little bit. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.